All right, so today we're going to read A Quilt of a Country by Anna Quindlen. Let's go over our directions. So we're going to read and annotate this copy of A Quilt of a Country using the annotation key below. I am always going to give you an annotation key, and that's going to help us really focus in on what we need to focus on. We're going to focus in on what we need to focus on as we read. So today our annotation key asks us to highlight the main point of each paragraph. So we're thinking about like evidence for central idea. You're going to highlight the main point of each paragraph. Then you are going to write the paraphrase central idea in the margins of each paragraph. So let's get started. America is an improbable idea, a mongrel nation built of ever-changing, disparate parts, and is held together by a notion, the notion that all men are created equal. Though everyone knows that most men consider themselves better than someone else. Kind of underlining, y'all don't have to do this, but when I annotate, I circle words that are kind of weird, and then I kind of underline things that seem important, but obviously that's part of your directions. So you don't have to do that. Of all the nations in the world, the United States was built in nobody's image, the historian Daniel Borson wrote. That's because it was built by bits and pieces that seem discordant, like the crazy quilts that have become one of our greatest folk art forms, velvet and calico and checks and brocades. Out of many, one that is ideal. All right, so if we look at this, we've got to try to figure out where our sort of main point is. Where do we think our central idea might come from? So we look at our first sentence. America is an improbable idea, a mongrel nation built of ever-changing parts. It's held together by a notion. This seems like, it doesn't really feel like a topic sentence. So let's keep going. This quote feels important, but I really don't think it's our central idea. So let's keep trekking. It was built of bits and pieces. I'm going to highlight that because it just feels like right. That seemed discordant, like the crazy quilts that have been, like the crazy quilts. We're just going to leave it there. So if we look at that, if that is our evidence, then our central idea is going to read something like this. America is like a quilt as it has been created by people from many different walks of life. No, many different people and cultures. So that's going to be that's our central idea, for the best of our knowledge. So let's keep going. The reality is often quite different. A great nation, I'm just going to say national sounds so wrong. A great nation, striving, consisting frequently of failure. Many of the oft-told stories of the most pluralistic nations on earth are stories not of tolerance, but of bigotry. That feels important. So many of the oft-told stories are not of tolerance, but of bigotry. Slavery and sweatshops, the burning of crosses and ostracism of other. Children learn in social studies, blah, blah, blah. Okay, not blah, 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 but y'all can read, right? This right here is a long string, excuse me while I need to change the color, is a long string of details So this right here, I'm going to go ahead and say is a whole bunch of detail. So I'm going to put that here because looking at it, it's just all of this is details. So we need to recognize that and we can kind of move past. So our central idea is going to be in this first little bit. And I am going to highlight actually this sentence. And then over here, we're going to make a comment. We've got to rephrase this. We've got to paraphrase it and put it in our own words. So let's see. Maybe something like, while America seems to be a great place, many of the stories we tell about it aren't the best. No, the stories are of cruelty or something like that. You know, we'd have to workshop a like better one, but that's sort of the idea. As we come through, we are going to annotate and look and search for these central ideas. That's the end of my sentence. All right, let's keep checking. Okay, so let's keep checking. We've got, this is the nation founded on a conundrum. What Mario Kumo has characterized as community added to individualism. I feel like that might be important, so I'm going to underline it. These two are defining ideals, but they're also in constant conflict. I think that's fair and I like it, so I'm going to circle it. They're in constant conflict. Historians today bemoan the ascendancy of a kind of prideful amphithism. I have a hard time with that word. Sorry about it. In America, saying that the clinging to ethnicity in background and custom has undermined the concept of unity. That seems important. The clinging to ethnicity and background has undermined the concept of unity. These historians must have forgotten the past or have gilded it. The New York of my children is no more balkanized, probably less so than the Philadelphia of my father. And so, like, yet again, we have sort of a beginning that sets up, and then the bottom half, if you look at it, these are really details that are supporting what we've got up here. So let's figure out the central idea. Alrighty, so we know that it has some, we know that it, oh no, I messed it all up. We know it has something to do with this idea okay, yeah, community added to individualism. Sorry, I think we should definitely highlight that. And then I think also this that we underlined probably is pretty important. All right, so I'm going to say historians are concerned that, actually, I don't want to say historians because that is sort of close to plagiarism. So we're trying to put it in our own words. I'm going to say scholars are concerned that groups in America are too divided, focusing on their community, not their country as a whole, or something like that, something to that effect, right? And so as we read through this text, you're going to continue to do that. Hopefully we've got sort of a feeling for what's going on here. I'm not going to do the last half of the text only because the next paragraph, this one right here, is your exit ticket from Tuesday. Whoa, what did I do? Undo. All right, there we go. Is our exit ticket from Tuesday. So I'm going to be right back on and I'll explain about that.